Sweet home Alabama did the Denver Broncos dodge a major bullet by not having a top 5 pick in this year's NFL draft. We've got a lot of red flags to break down. If you're new to this channel, my name is Ben, and I go over all things Denver sports. And if you're the type of person who would actually run a 40 at the combine, if it meant you could get drafted by an NFL team, it would really help me out if you would like and subscribe to this channel. So let's go through here some of the crazy amounts of red flags that I've just seen these past 2 days, and why truly I'm thankful that the Denver Broncos don't have a top 5 pick, because I think some teams are going to reach on a player who I don't know how that's going to pan out. So I'm going to break down 3 different red flags I've seen with guys who people are predicting in the top 10 of this year's NFL draft, starting with the overall number 1 pick. It's been really popular to hate on Caleb Williams, but I've just seen some things over the past few days and really going back into the season that just really make him stand out as someone that you just don't want in an NFL locker room. You don't want as the face of your franchise. You don't want leading your team. And that starts today with today's NFL press conference. He's one of the first ever players who basically went to the combine, and you're kind of wondering, why did you even go, buddy? Because the combine started as a way to, as Sean Payton pointed out, combine the medical data and get your doctors in to do it. And then to throw for teams if you're a quarterback, and to run the 40-yard dash. And Caleb Williams isn't doing any of that stuff. He is essentially just there. And so we take a look here at this video, and someone said, hey, why aren't you doing the medical stuff? And this was Caleb Williams' response.
Not 32 teams can draft me. There's only one of me.
There's only one of me, not 32 teams can draft me. You just look at his body language there. He's got a packed out room, and his body language, that's not how Peyton Manning would stand. As much as I can't stand Patrick Mahomes, that's not even how Patrick Mahomes acted. You got to act like you want to be there. I've had a lot of experience coaching youth sports at different levels, obviously not at the collegiate or pro level, but I've seen so many times where the raw talent has a bad attitude and isn't a leader and just doesn't live up to the expectations. And I've had players, when I coached soccer at a different school district I used to be in, where a kid had played travel soccer his entire life, had more talent in his left foot than any of the rest of the team combined, and he had a horrible attitude and didn't even end up playing his sophomore, junior, senior year because he just had a horrible attitude. And that is the exact vibe I'm getting from Caleb Williams here. Hands in his pocket. He couldn't look like he cares to be there any less. And his response to why aren't you doing what every other player has done throughout the history of the NFL Combine? And he's like, because there's only one of me. And I think that's just a huge red flag. You see the same thing. There was a storming of the field with Notre Dame, and he had a confrontation with a fan on the field in Notre Dame, and he responds basically, he says here in this interview, he said, everybody wants to be in my size 12.5 cleats, and Lions don't. I'll just let it play and let it speak for himself.
Everybody wants to be in these 12.5 shoes right here. So, I'm not worried about some kid running on the field that, doesn't have anything really associated to Notre Dame other than possibly the family going there or him going there himself. Got a lot of guys over here I got to lead. So some opinion of a sheet, lying somewhere about that. So, keep moving on, keep fighting.
So basically, dissing another fan of a team, and saying you're a lion, right? If you're really a lion, you don't tell people you're a lion, and that right there to me is the exact definition of, you would never see Peyton Manning say that. He might make a joke like that. You'd never see Pat Mahomes say that. You would never see, for all the hate that Russell Wilson has got, he is like the antithesis of Russell Wilson. And I just don't think that's going to go well in a locker room where you have tons of multimillionaires. I don't think that's going to go well when you have to be under the tutelage of a coach. So I think the Denver Broncos dodged a massive bullet by not really having a shot at Caleb Williams. And he might have all the talent. we'll screen grab all of this and I could be totally wrong, but he's just not the type of player who you get super stoked to be leading your team, because that attitude is yikes. And if I'm way off, hit me up in the comments on that. The next thing that kind of makes me another red flag we dodged is that it seems as if in all the different mock drafts that Marvin Harrison Jr. will be the first receiver off the board. And a lot of people are saying, like, could the Patriots get him at 3? Is he going to fall all the way to 4 and he's going to go be an Arizona Cardinal? And he was supposed to today meet with the media. He's not doing a 40. He's not running routes, but he was scheduled today to meet with the media at 8:20, and he just completely ghosted his interview and didn't give anyone a reason why. And people were there to hear what he had to say and ask him questions, and he just totally ghosted them and didn't show up. I think that speaks volumes. You see him, wearing his Apple Watch during a game, wearing Louis Vuitton cleats. And again, I think there's a level of entitlement. Obviously, the talent is insane there, but there's like a level of being a diva already, and I just do not think that jives with Sean Payton. So the last, and you even see Ian Rappaport say the exact same thing here. He had an 8:20 scheduled press conference today, didn't show up, didn't tell anyone why, and didn't even tell the NFL PR guy a reason why. You could easily make up something like he's got a family emergency or whatever the actual case is, and he didn't. There's no reason for why Marvin Harrison Jr. ghosted everyone with his interview. That shows a level of entitlement that I am just thrilled the Denver Broncos will not have in their locker room. The last red flag that I see here is just in the overall age here of some of these quarterbacks. So I'm seeing Michael Pennix Jr. is going to be 24 by the time the NFL season starts, and Bo Nix is going to be like 24 and a half by the time the NFL season starts. And both of these guys are predicted to be first-round quarterbacks. I would be very surprised if these guys fall out of the top round, and they're going to be in their 24 years old. And taking a look here at the younger quarterbacks in the NFL, this is the part that is just crazy to me, is just seeing the overall ages of some quarterbacks here. So you got Michael Penix Jr. and Bo Nix. We're going to be 3 years older than Anthony Richardson, going to be 2 years older than CJ Stroud. And you're looking here, they're the same age as Trevor Lawrence, who's on his second deal. Justin Fields, who they're talking about his second contract already. He's like a year younger than Justin Herbert, and I feel like we've been playing Justin Herbert as Broncos fans for, like it feels like a decade. I know it's not, but I think that's a big red flag that obviously your body changes playing against a bunch of 18, 19, 20-year-old guys as a quarterback who's had 5 years to figure it out. I just don't know how that translates to the NFL when you go from playing 18, 19, 20-year-old corners to all of a sudden playing against a Pat Surtain who's been in the league a bunch of years. I just don't think that translates. So I probably a hot take here, but I am relieved that the Denver Broncos are not picking in the top 5 and they don't have to worry about some of those red flags, because I think what'll end up happening is that you're going to have teams like the Bears and the Commanders and the Cardinals taking those red flags off the board, and maybe some great players like a Brock Bowers fall to us at 12, a Terrion Arnold fall to us at 12, and I think this will play out very, very well for us. We're going to do an in-depth breakdown of the different quarterbacks the Denver Broncos have interviewed, what they say about Coach Sean Payton and the potential of playing here in Denver. It is going to be a crazy couple of months. If you're still watching, if you could help me hit that 6,000 sub mark by the draft, I would just be so giddy and so excited. Speaking of giddy, Denver Broncos country, let's giddy up. Oof.